examples of some of the bowls that I've made in the past. And that one on the end, close to that one, is what we're looking at. That's what it's kind of going to look like when we get done. That's spalded maple. That's what we've got here. You can tell that by the black lines in the wood. So at about 400, because otherwise it'll shake a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to knock the bottom off so it's flat on the bottom first. And we do that kind of like this. Okay. This is a really old trick to see if you're round or not round. See how rough the finish is there from that tool? So, another question people ask me is, where did I learn to do this? Phil Anderson, Shady Acres Wood Turning in Washington State, has it on YouTube. He puts out a video every week, just about every week, and he has for the last 5 or 6 years, maybe longer than that, and I learned by watching him. And he learned by watching another guy on YouTube, okay? So I've inherited some of my prejudice, and that is, I'm a bowl guy. I make bowls. I also make some of these things here, but it's a different skill set and different tools and all that. But Phil is mostly a bowl guy. He likes to leave bark on everything he makes, and I like smoother finishes, although I do leave bark on some of them if I have the right kind of wood piece to start with. I had some that you knew that was firewood, and I made something out of it. But that's what goes on here.
Who'd you say that YouTube channel was?
Phil Anderson's Shady Acres.
Okay.
simple piece of scrap oak, and it has a wonderful grain in it. You can all touch these things, pass them around, do whatever you want, but the grain in it is just wonderful, and it has a really good look to it. So this one is catalpa. It came from Candy Corner across. There was a big catalpa tree. They cut it down. The city did because it was rotten. Took it away. I went and cut the stump off and made some bowls out of it. And it's really interesting looking grain as well. So my walnut has been kiln dried. The rest of it is not. I bought that. I hate buying wood because there's a million pieces of it everywhere. And maybe I can talk your boss into taking some of my red cedar there and cutting it up in slabs. Maybe we could trade some.
Sure.
Did you see them when you came in the door?
On the ends area?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I laid them there for a reason.
Yeah, I saw them.
So there you go with that. Okay, so this is cut in half. So on these bowls, we mostly go from the big end to the small end. If you're doing one that's a full piece of wood, and you're just gonna, then you have to go from this end that way. Why that is, I think it's because of the way the grain is aligned and so on and so forth. Now we're going to try to flatten the bottom out, and we'll put on a tenon so that when we turn it around we can grab it right behind you there. It goes to 220 in this drawer, and this drawer over here, it starts at from 220 up to 800. So you have to have a lot of stuff. While we're talking about that, let's walk around the corner here. They're the business. It's a swept back bowl gauge, so you use that more for cutting out and making the little ridges. Here's a bigger swept back bowl. So this is a $200 investment. Everything, I buy my stuff at Woodcrafters in Iowa City, and it's a wonderful place, but it's expensive. That's where my dust collector came from, my bandsaw, my planer, my lathe. Some of you might have noticed I have two lathes. One of them's for a buffing station, but I really don't use it very often. Hardly ever.
What'd you say the brand was on those black ones?
I didn't say the brand. Pinnacle. They make these hard. Normally when we do, have you guys done metal yet? Okay, so metal, you make it hard by you fire it and then you quench it. Okay, well they make theirs hard by firing it and then they freeze it to 400 minus degrees. So that's aligns the molecules in the steel differently than our quench at 80 degrees or 50 degrees or whatever. So this gives you the basic outline, and rolls over, and then you have to evacuate the material on both sides to make it stand out. Putting the bevel on the tendon when we cut that out. If we look at my bowl, 3 coats of Zizer sanding sealer. Okay, so that's an hour between coats, just so you get the idea how long this all takes. 3 coats of that. Then 2 coats of shellac. That gives it hardness and a little bit of shine. And an hour between those as well. And then when it gets nice and dry, really dry, then we use this Midlands polish on it, high-speed polish. So I put this on at about 900 RPMs with a rag, and it shines things right up.
And then it's food grade. You can eat out of that bowl.
Not right. If I'm going to do somebody that's going to do food grade right away, then I use this. This is filtered walnut oil, and takes about 3 or 4 coats of this on it. But this is food grade from the minute it starts. It's all good. Just depends on if it's going to set for a month. All of it's food grade because it off gases and it. I have lots of them in the house and they don't stink the house up, and they don't, after I set them out here for a while. Okay, so.
But the original sanding sealer and then the shellac and then that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On the ones that we want food grade right away, this is the only thing we use on them.
Okay.
So like the charcuterie boards and the cutting boards, this is it. This is high price stuff here. The other one wasn't high price. This one is, but that's just how it is. Okay, so some things you don't want to shine. If you've got something that you like, a candle holder, and then I use feeding wax on it. Okay, so it comes out kind of clumpy and ugly, and you got to smooth it all down and whatever. And if it's got bark on it, then you have to do it with a brush. Brush it till it's all smooth and kind of air blow it around till it's all, but it gives you that non-shine look because the look is the candle. So some other things I've made here is tables from natural edge wood, and really haven't done anything much with them, just made them and stuck them out here. And the big one I made, I put my planer on because these things got a lot of bzzz in them because they go around, and so. And the top here sticking up, it doesn't move, okay? It just stays there. Project or whatever, because you're not out that much. It's not like we're buying $1,000 piece of metal here. This is a free piece of wood. And what I got timed in it is, it's been sitting in the shop for 3.5 years. That's it. Not this shop, but another one I got. So it's fun to do. You make things that I have a big family, and so does my wife. So they show up, they just take things. That's how it works. Yes, I like this. Oh, there you go. And so they don't mind coming down so often. old, don't have great arm strength anymore, I let the tools do the work for me. So if we had it all smoothed out and sanded and sanding sealer on it, then we'll just take it off and turn it around, unscrew it from that side, and mount this up onto the lathe, and then we could turn the inside. So that's turn it around, and I don't know, I guess the reason I do that is because that's the way I learned up from, and also keeps the dust out of it and all that stuff. If you did a really good job of sanding it and you got it down to 800 finish and you don't want anything to mess it up, put some sanding sealer on it and you're good to go. You know, because it kind of hardens it up a little bit. So take that off. We start sanding in reverse because the dust goes in the dust collection here, but you do it both ways, forward and reverse, but I do the majority of it in reverse, so the dust goes in here. And on this dust collection deal, I have a barrel that catches the big stuff, so only the little stuff goes in here. So every week or so I got to empty all that stuff and clean it out. And I usually do it out here by the alley, and it's like a cloud. Just a cloud. So this has a lock on it, and they make a tool for this, but I just got one of these. I kind of like it the way it feels. If I can find out what's that. And so this screws right off. And it's attached with these 6 wood screws. And so when I turn it around, I just unattach it. And then the wood screws are not great big long ones, so that they hold fine, but they don't go through the bottom of my wood, you know.